Hello and welcome to the April Kohl Show. I'm April Kohl and I've got with me today a notable author. She's Jennifer Kirk and she's been using Second Life to promote her novels. Hello Jennifer and welcome to the show.
Oh, hello there. Thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome. So you've been in Second Life for how long now?
On and off for a few years. I joined, I'm not sure when I joined actually. It's one of those things, time really just flies by, doesn't it?
It certainly does, especially when you're in Second Life, and I tend to find that if I log in, then 2 or 3 hours have passed, and I think it's maybe been about half an hour. There must be some sort of time lapse.
Yes, I suppose so. I'm not quite that bad, I must admit.
Fair enough. So, you've been using Second Life to promote your novels. What is the novel that you've been promoting?
The one that came out last year in October, it's called Bringing Home the Stars. It was my 7th book. I promoted that initially. I did some book readings. That was before it was published. And got some very good feedback. A lot of people heard it, liked it, and gave me feedback on it. I was able to take away, improve the book, polish it up for publishing. It got published, and off the back of that success in Second Life, it's done very, very well actually.
Well, that's excellent news. And have you got any plans to follow it up with a sequel?
Yes, there is another book. It's written. It's with the publisher at the moment. They're talking about a release date at the end of August, beginning of September. It's not a direct sequel. It's more akin to how perhaps authors like Terry Pratchett does his Discworld series, insofar as there's characters that persist and situations that persist, but you don't need to have read a previous book to understand what's going on, to appreciate the new book on its own. And conversely, Bringing Home the Stars also was a standalone book, so it doesn't leave you in the lurch at the end. It's all nice and self-contained. I think that's pretty important in a book, even one that's nominally part of a sequence.
That's fair enough. So, do you have any plans to do any promotion in Second Life for your coming book?
I'd love to do some more book readings. I think that went down very, very well, and I'd look to do that again because we got some very good feedback from that.
Oh, fantastic! I'm always interested in the community side of Second Life. So, how on earth did you get involved to be able to do these book readings? Do you just turn up somewhere and say, "Hey, I'm going to do a book reading. Anyone want to listen?" Or is it a bit more involved than that?
Well, it's not quite like that. I mean, you do have to trail it in advance a little bit. If you just turn up, the chances are there won't necessarily be anybody there to listen. It's a bit like, if you do a book reading in the real world. If you just turn up in a park and sit under a tree and say, "I'm going to read from my new book," you're not going to do quite as well as if you let people know that it's on. So it was done through a writing group. It was, I offered to do the reading, and they were keen for people to read material that they'd written, not just me. There was a lot of other people as well who still do readings there of their work. So I was able to fit in with that, and it went very, very well. We got a good crowd as a result, and that in turn gave some pretty good feedback on the work.
That's fantastic. So, if you were to give some tips to budding authors who would like to use Second Life to further their own writing career, what tips would you give?
I think there's a lot of tips that are quite general insofar as things like writing is like any other activity that you do in life. The more you do it, the more you practice at it, the better you get at it. And also read other people's work, because the best authors are well-read authors. It's very important to see what other people are doing, to learn from other people. And I think on the internet with something like Second Life, that gives you a much more accessible way of doing both those things, and also to share experiences, share knowledge. And that's important. It's something that when I started writing, long before I got published, the internet didn't really actually exist. I mean, it did exist, but there was nothing like Second Life. And it was very hard to, get a snapshot of what other people were doing, to get to know other people around the country. And the internet and Second Life have very much democratized access to each other. We're able to communicate with each other in a way that just people didn't really even imagine 10, 20 years ago. And I think that is great.
That is very true. I would never have thought that in our lifetime we would have interactive virtual reality environments where I could go to a book reading or go to a writing group with people from around the world all at the same place.
Very much so. I mean, I can remember, it doesn't seem that long ago. I mean, it's more than a decade. But, it was unusual to get to know people outside of even your own local area, let alone country. And now, I know and regularly talk with lots of people from America, Canada, Australia, France, all of these varied places that have become much closer together and much easier to kind of mingle with people from those locations.
Well, that is very true. So thank you very much, Jennifer, for coming along.
It's quite all right. Thank you for having me on. It's been great to be allowed to be here and be a part of the community as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I've been April Kohl. You've been watching the April Kohl Show, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.